Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit. Got Stan in the building, them three, and Jerk. So today, man, we got some good topics. You know, like always, man. We gonna clown and talk some shit. but before we jump in, man, how's everybody doing, man?
Doing good.
Man, I'm exhausted, but I'm all right.
Oh, I bet you are. You got that glow.
Yeah, he do, man. Look at those.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
It's a different type of soul glow.
Look, man.
Running out of vitamin zinc, huh?
He got that. I'm almost in love look. He got that luster in his eyes, man.
Okay, just spent. Look at him. He's looking red now. You the red man. Light skinned ass.
Hey, fuck all right.
Look at you.
You get your electrolytes, man. You drinking Gatorade. And you got you got to pump those electrolytes back in the system. You can't just be drinking water, man.
And do some
Your ass getting old.
Look, man. Look. Since like I met the you know the love of my life or whatever. If you're hearing this, since then, you know, this been like day 9 so far after my spring break, man, and yeah, it just doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
You said date 9?
Yeah, day number 9 after my spring break. Because what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? I was on that spring break, and I was on my
journey of self-love.
Yeah, the journey of self-love. You know?
We can start talking like these chicks.
You have to go find yourself, right?
Like, hey, I was on my journey of self-love. I had to find myself and on this spiritual journey. They don't ever say religious, they're like spiritual.
Yeah,
AKA
that little
fucking
spiritual journey. Hey, look, I had to tell a coworker right then, like earlier today. I was like, look, man, you know, I found myself, you know, I had to talk all point like how they be talking, right? So I was like, yeah, you know, like, you know, I started loving myself again, and you know, things are looking pretty good for me. And of course, like, you know, once you're, you know, kind of off the market, then it's like now they want to kind of compete. Anyways, though, fuck them. All right, but we good.
I'll be out here talking like a thought from the 80s at work. I'll be throwing people off. I'll be like, hey, your energy's a little bit off. Why are you? I'm gonna start rolling around with them chakra beads and shit.
Oh Lord.
What's that little thing they be putting in him? Like, you're uncentered. That the little yarn that be spinning around.
The crystal. The pendulum.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna come with all that weird shit. Like, what's your zodiac? Like, hey, I'm a Libra. I'm like, wow. I start reading off just basic shit.
Oh Lord. Oh my God.
But all right, man.
You trying to be a brujo? Like, that's a male witch for anybody asks. That's a male witch.
Oh, that's what it is. But all right, man, we'll go ahead and jump into the first topic. So yeah, the first topic that we got today, man, it was this clip that I saw. This Uber or Lyft driver, he was about to jump all on this female, man, until like somebody came and I think broke it up. So it was all on the news and stuff. So yeah, the Lyft driver, the woman was like drunk as shit. So I guess he must have got out the car because he was like, hey, she drunk. Let me follow her to her house. And, you know, the doorbell camera caught the whole interaction. And I think one of her neighbors, like, saw she was a little drunk, stumbling, and came and, you know, pretty much was like, hey, man, like, get up out of here. But that dude was all up on her, man. And I was like, man, I just share this video with y'all because it was kind of creepy, man. So, yeah, definitely we'll check it out and get everybody's take on there. So Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, my man had no shame in this video. I was like, God damn. So men, you got daughters, sisters, women, be careful out here because some weirdos out here.
She needed to get home from a girls' night out, so she took a ride share. Never in a million years thinking something this horrifying would happen. The driver got her home, but she says he then groped her on the front porch. Now the woman is speaking with our Amber Cogliano, and we warn you, the video is upsetting.
Okay.
It's a video that will leave you outraged.
Where is? Right here.
A rideshare driver appears to be groping his passenger's breasts as he helps her to her front door. Her purse is draped around her neck, and you can hear her dog barking inside her house as she slurs her words.
Are you an Uber driver?
He put his hands around her waist.
What company?
Oh, Lyft.
Lyft?
Yes, yeah. I want to make sure you get home safely.
Now the woman who says she was groped is speaking out.
It's disgusting. I was so intoxicated. I was falling over. And to know that someone would take advantage of someone in that state, it's unimaginable.
Lauren Christensen says she was heading home after a night out with friends in Dallas.
Just had the most amazing night. There's a lot of drinks involved.
So her friend ordered a Lyft to take her home. She never imagined she would get groped. Did you remember the driver grabbing you like that? Did you have any recollection of that?
Not at all.
Unsteady on her feet, Lauren tries to open the door.
Yeah,
No. You're putting in the.
You could tell she drunk as hell. So yeah, this dude, I'll keep playing and then we'll break. Let me know when y'all want me to stop.
Yeah, for sure.
The Lyft driver didn't park his car outside of Lauren's house. He actually parked it down the street. One of Lauren's neighbors went outside to check out the suspicious car and heard the commotion on Lauren's front porch and went to see if everything was okay.
Okay.
Steve, I love you so.
You're welcome. I just want to make sure everything's all right.
I told him, listen, I said, that's my neighbor, and I'm watching over her. And he took off.
Do you feel your neighbor saved you?
Shout out to white neighbors.
Oh yeah. No matter how old they are too.
The
They'll
man,
look out for you.
the bear. Shout out to another man with a good heart and morals who cared about his neighbor, the man. we have to give the men shout out, the good ones. We got to give them a shout out this year.
No, facts, man. Because that dude, the way he was up on her, man, like he was trying to get in the house. I could tell, like, it seemed like she was, even though she was drunk, man, you could tell she was like kind of delaying. Like, I think her natural senses was like, nah, this motherfucker's kind of weird and stuff. So she was like delaying. So but the guy that definitely came up, man. Shout out to him because this dude, man, he was definitely trying to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, and I'm glad that she knows her neighbor knows her, and took when you build a community, men and women have to get together and keep each other safe and build a community. So shout out to him for looking out for her. And not expecting sex. Not expecting no sex, no reward, no nothing. Just straight up caring. Now that's a guy. That's a good man.
It's funny you said that because man, I was listening to I can't remember which show, but Bolo was up there. He was talking about community, kind of like how you're saying, Stan, because somebody was like, no, we just worry about ourselves and I don't do this. And he was like, Bolo was pretty much breaking it down where it's like, we got to have community to protect the people. And this clip came to mind because it's just like, yeah, man, like, everybody's so caught up in their day-to-day lives where, man, you kind of detach and you're on the move. So it's like, you don't get to know people. And, I think back in the days, like people knew people's patterns if something was out the norm and shit. But I just think, man, because even myself, like I got to get better at like looking at that type of stuff. But shout out to the guy that, kind of was out there looking around and saw that, that this was a weird interaction. It was like, hey, man, let me go check up on them. Because, he could have easily just like stayed in his house and be like, nah, I don't want to, because I don't want to seem like I'm weird now, coming out there or I'm nosy and shit. So.
But at that point, like, I think nowadays we have to get out of that nosiness. Like, people need to know who you are in your own neighborhood. If we don't know who you are, I don't need to know everything about you. A hi, a bye. I know this person, that person. And that's it. Like, it's not that hard. It's like we're getting away from social skills that's needed. You're part of a community. I don't care what you like or don't like. But if somebody comes in and trying to do something to you, you need to have people that's nearby. Even the Bible says it. There's something in Proverbs, and I'm going to paraphrase it. It's better to have a neighbor nearby than a brother that's far away. And it's like, you need to have your neighbors because your brother is far away. So if something immediately happened, you need to have people that's nearby you to help you out.
Hmm.
Mm.
I like that quote or that scripture. You remember that all the way from '08? You know you ain't been in church since. No, I'm
Man, I don't think church is ready for me to come back. I ain't trying to have the cherubims to come out.
And M3, I remember one time we was on your channel. We was talking about community, and it's funny, man, because it had to be about like almost a year ago. And 100 Watts, he was kind of saying something along the lines of that too, where we were talking about like community, and he was like, "Man, you need to go. Everybody needs to go and
Yeah,
intermingle with the neighbors." You was on there, right, Stan? And I was giving a pushback. I was like, "Man, fuck my neighbors."
yeah, that's
I probably say that same shit too, though, because I don't talk to my neighbors at all.
Yeah, because that was my stand. I was like, man, I ain't trying to talk to nobody, but now I'm starting to see, like, man, nah, y'all, he was right. I owe 100 apology, man. I gotta give him his props too, because he was him, Bolo, and all them, and even Stan, you was always on community stuff.
yeah. I mean,
I thought y'all was a bunch of losers, man. So I owe y'all apologies, man. Y'all was actually
one of
right,
my
man.
neighbors gave me my radio name.
Your radio name.
Yeah, when we first moved into the house, my sister's ex-boyfriend was supposed to help me move in, and he wasn't here as usual. And so here I am with like a big giant U-Haul truck putting stuff in. A nice white woman came by, and she's like, "Dang, Hershkalees," and that's how.
And that's how you got that name, Big Hirsch?
No. Well, that
ain't no fucking community. That's a what's that? A Hinduism?
No, Hershey's.
That's a bunny ranch you staying at.
Yeah, Hershey's and Hercules. She put it together because I was just unloading the truck by myself, no brakes.
Did you have a wife beater on?
Yeah, she just came there to make sure if I got some water, some Gatorade, and she just looked at me like, Hercules. And then I went to, it was like this radio company, RMG Radio, and that was my name, Hercules, on RMG Radio.
Oh,
Was she an older woman?
Yeah.
Hey, look, shout outs to like the
Did you smash
40th first, man.
No, I had to like, no, because I was just moving stuff in, and it's a gated community. I ain't missing no white woman like that. I'm not Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, shout outs to all the women. I keep trying to tell you people, right? But you people will learn. Y'all want to be like on these like platforms, talk about get yourself like a young tenderoni, get yourself like a young woman so you could groom or raise or something. I ain't raising no chick. All right. Look, the 40s and up is the ideal golden ticket.
40 and up.
Yeah, the 40s and up.
Okay, M3. Just slow your roll for a little bit. Yeah, I don't want you to incriminate yourself right now. You're just newly in love. You just baptized by the nut. It's okay.
Stan, I've been no.
Don't do it, sir.
I was talking about from day one, man. Look. Even with the single moms too. Either get yourself a woman who's a single mom with a couple of children, Mexican children, or you get yourself a woman, right, who's 40 and up. I'm telling you, either or, they got a good head and shoulders and they have a good heart. And in the end, they're going to take care of you.
Okay. The views of this panelist planning sophistication, nor the other panelists on this panel.
We will be having mandatory piss tests on talking shit. 40. Nah, because I'm with you, man. I can't go young, but 40, goddamn. Them chicks got walkers and shit.
No, she was just being nice, and that was it. And I think I saw her again later. But like, yeah, she was just being nice. But under no means do I go into any white woman's establishment. I grew up in the South. I'm not stupid. I'm not mesmerized by the city life of the Bay Area. I'm still Southern, and people are still have their what's the word I'm looking for? Their ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I still.
Yeah, so you in that old school, the Jim Crow era with it. God damn.
No, because I seen some people like they were passing, and it was like you're not passing, but it's okay.
Okay.
And that stuff is for real in the South. You don't go around playing with white folks. Even white folks had a name for me. Either I got called Creole, Gitchy, I got called like an N word that's not theirs. I also got called mutt.
Damn. Okay.
Nut.
But yeah,
But just going back to what M3 was saying, I do agree with you though. Yeah, dudes getting they taking some L's, mess with them young chicks. So I'm with you. Yeah, I don't do the young thing. I like my chicks older with trauma.
caught up. They think they're actually in love, like that 74-year-old man with that 24-year-old girlfriend. But we'll talk about that later because he's also part of the NFL, but he's white. But he's not frowned upon like Shannon Sharp is. But that's another topic.
Okay. We'll get back to this video though. We'll finish this one out. But yeah, my man in the video, man, he definitely was on some weirdo shit.
Wait.
Absolutely.
You, SJ, wait. Did you get to know your neighbors? Because that was a year and a half ago. You had homework.
I wave at people now. Like actually getting to know them. No, I'm not at that phase yet. But
You want to take
my
walks around
wife
the
does.
block?
She talks to people, so
Oh,
she's all nice to everybody. She was like, "Hey, so and so down the block, they." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
sir.
Keep
You
it
had
safe."
homework, not your wife. You
I
had
know, man. I
homework.
just be on the move, man. But I do wave. I'll be like, "Hey, man." I'm gonna get better though. I do need to, man. This video is bringing it to perspective because when I seen it, I was like, "Damn, y'all flashed in my mind." You 100 and Bolo and stuff. I was like, "Damn, it was right." I didn't know how I should, come and give y'all props, but I gotta do it. Yeah, I definitely think people do need to start interacting.
Yeah.
But shout out to you for making me feel bad, man. For
Oh,
rubbing
no.
that in my face.
Jiminy Cricket.
But all right, let me play this.
Absolutely.
The next morning, Lauren saw the video on her home surveillance camera and went to police.
I had to call my daughter. I was so embarrassed to tell her how drunk I was. And she immediately was like, Mom, no, that wasn't your fault. He should have never done that to you.
What's been the hardest part of this, Lauren, for you?
Realizing that it could have been worse. And I just keep playing it back in my head. Had he gotten in my house?
I spoke to her attorney, Brooke Cohen, with the law firm Cohen Hirsch.
In most cases, you don't have the kind of evidence that we have in Lauren's case. And I think that the Ring camera truly saved her.
She says she plans to file a lawsuit against Lyft.
It was really terrifying and very disturbing to look at.
A Lyft spokesperson says the behavior described has no place in the Lyft community or our society. We take reports of sexual assault very seriously. These allegations are in violation of our terms of service, and as soon as we were made aware of this incident, we deactivated the driver.
He should have dropped her off in front of her house and left.
Lyft sent us a statement saying they are assisting in the investigation and they have deactivated the driver.
Yeah, that's some scary shit, man.
Don't they deactivate? He needs to come in. And also, do they actually train them? Like, what do you do as a driver when somebody comes in drunk? Do you deny the drive, and then you go ahead and put a thing in there so they could like find out what's going on? Like, if this is a woman, should we get women drivers to go pick up this woman? Does this woman need 911 assistance? So that's my questions towards Lyft, because deactivating is not the same as like reprimanding, because he needs to be a deactivated, right? But for every other driver, when you pick up people that drunk, what is the protocol?
Yeah, because I mean, you don't know if, because even going to Lyft, like you said, they definitely need to put out some training and some different protocols in place. Because I was asking my wife, I showed her the clip, and like when she travels, sometimes she'll take the Lyft, but she'll request a female driver, but she was like, sometimes they are occupied and stuff. Because I was just telling her, I was like, man, not to put any blame on say people that are drunk, but it's just like, man, even as a guy, and I'm like pretty solid, I'm good size, man. I'm like, I don't like driving with motherfuckers at nighttime like that. So I just think, man, people, that I think it was good that they got her Lyft, her friends, because you don't want nobody to drive, but it's just like, man, sometimes I think you got to have a buddy system, like in the military, that's what we did. I'm never gonna if somebody was like stumbling like that, I'm like, you know what, man, I'll leave the party and make sure somebody gets home safe. Or we'll get a hotel room. I'll let them stay up there and I'll go back to the party. But it's like, I'm not gonna let you go across town, So I think people got to get a little better at that.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, you still ain't safe, even if you go home like with a Lyft driver. Well, what are you gonna do like afterwards? You may stumble around the house, and God forbid, if you fall, hit your head or something, or you start
Yeah,
wandering around.
and that's
But
what
I
I was
think, oh, go ahead, Steve.
like. If somebody that drunk and you just drop them off, like, is there a welfare check that you put in? Like, this person needs a welfare check. Do they call the police? Because if something happened to her and she stumbled and she went somewhere else, went to another neighbor's house or walked in the middle of the street, you're still responsible because we have you on camera. So that's one thing. And then two, I'm going to say this to all the friends group, this including the men too. Like, we don't do a good enough job of looking over our friends. And also we don't do a good enough job of looking over ourselves. Like, like we should not get pissy drunk. Like, this is the environment or the world for us to do it. It's just not safe. Like, if you want to get drunk, have sleepover at your house, a pajama jam party, and then have the drinks at your house and drink, and then stay home. Because going to a bar and not putting the blame on her at all, anything like this, because the man was complete, just nasty. Um, it's just like it's just not the way things are in this world is just not safe. And also, she had a daughter. It could have been worse if her daughter was home, and this guy, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
How
because I mean, the guy is just such a piece of shit. Because man, man, like they said, you should pull up to the person's house, and yeah, man, I would just be so scared if somebody got in my car, like like y'all said, if they go somewhere else, and man, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna sit there and make sure they get in the house, and yeah, I'll be like, man, and call the Lyft people, like, hey, man, this person's drunk as hell, like, man, like you said, they should have a protocol, like you type it in, okay, they made it in the house, man, I'm back on the road, like, because man, I'd be like nervous, like to get people that drunk in there. So yeah, for him to like step over the boundaries, man, that's some, and like you said, it's just I'm glad like clips like these do come out and people break them down, because it's just like, man, like some people don't, I think in society, play by the rules, man. So it's just like you do got to be cautious, man, because if somebody oversteps them, everybody ain't good. They overstep them boundaries, man. It could just happen so fast. And like you said, the daughter could have been at the house and stuff. So nah,
Yeah, it
glad.
could have been so much worse
Yeah.
because we don't. And thank God for the male neighbor coming out, because this man parked not in front of the house but down the block, so he was like getting his fill on. Well, that's creepy, right? Just filling her up all the way to get to her house, and it was definitely planned. Like, that's why, like, yo, don't deactivate the driver because we need to know where he's at all times, so the police can get a hold of him and press charges. Because not only you're getting sued, but you also had this person. Was this person even, like, did they have a record? Like, do they do fingerprints and check out the criminal history when they do Lyft
Well,
driver?
No, I
well,
think they
No,
do
they
all
don't do
that.
like fingerprints, but they do like a soft, like kind of like background check. So they have to do that. Here's my thing, right? Talk about worst case scenarios. Now um, imagine this was like an African American woman, right? And she had like a teenage son, maybe 6 foot, whatever. Like, imagine like you seen your mom about to walk in the house with a damn like Lyft driver or a weird ass dude, like just grab all her tits and stuff. You know how much outrage that would have been? Like, that would have been like the death penalty. He wouldn't have got away.
Yeah, I definitely would have whooped his ass.
Yeah. Oh, like, you want to
That's
come
how
in? Like,
that dude was so bold, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
but let's
I'm
keep it
like,
real though. Black women ain't gonna let you get in nobody's car by themselves. Number one. Number two, you sure know to spend the night at somebody's house. Number three, we do the buddy system in our community. And there also is somebody who's a designated driver. But like, that's the thing, like, how we operate is very different how other people operate. Um, but that responsibility still fall on you as a person of like, yo, look, I want to just be open, right? So I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been clean for like almost a decade. So for me to drink, right, I have to see what was going on for me to drink. So what's going on in my day or my week or this month that I want to drink and why I want to drink this much. There's things like I have to do and work that out. Also,
Mhm.
not put myself in a place where there's a bar. Like I'm going to eat some food or something and just drink a lot of water. But like you do have to look at yourself and say like, why am I getting this drunk? Because I'm going to say this to anybody, yo, you're not 21. You don't have the liver for this. Once you hit 21, that shit is over with. These new drinks ain't it. You ain't gonna have no liver or kidney. So I gotta now ask you, like, yo, why are you getting this drunk? Like, what's going on that's so stressful that you need to do this? So, and again, not putting this on the woman, but this across the board for all of us who want to get drunk and think that this world is safety and she's lucky.
Yeah, no, it's just scary stuff, man. When you start seeing it, man, this is like, yeah, there's some weirdos out here, man. So people gotta be cautious, man. So definitely, again, glad the guy popped up, stopped that. Hopefully,
Yeah.
more people, man. It's just like, man, don't leave people behind. I know sometimes people are like, I got it, I'm leaving. Just tell them to shut the hell up, getting that Lyft with them, man, and yeah, leaving the system.